who are we? We find that we live on an insignificant planet of a humdrum star lost in a galaxy tucked away in some forgotten corner of a universe in which there are far more galaxies than people. So there I was, standing in a Starbucks on the corner of 86th and Plum Drive, sipping burnt espresso and thinking about how wonderful it would be if there were peace on Earth. That's when he appeared, walking over with his hands tucked into neat trouser pockets and leaning against the brick wall beside me. He glanced around with a confused yet utterly content smile. I paid him no mind, focusing on my coffee. When I went to throw the empty cup away, he suddenly spoke, and his voice oddly put me at ease. "That stuff stunts your growth," he said. "You really shouldn't drink it." I found his bluntness brazen, but replied curtly, "You're right, I shouldn't. I actually hate the taste, but it keeps me awake. Isn't that what every busy teenager like me wants?" He smirked, adjusting the pocket watch hanging from his vest. "I suppose you're right." He wore a black bowler, something between a derby and a top hat made of a felt-like material. His three-piece suit looked refined, though too flashy for Starbucks. His red hair burned like a warning flare, and the shade of his purple bow tie could only be rivaled by the most beautiful butterfly's wings. But what struck me most were his eyes, dark green, cold and bottomless. They held a restrained fury, as if he was ready to tear me apart at any moment, regardless of the consequences. I couldn't look at them for long without feeling a sense of mortal danger. "I have to go, goodbye." I grabbed my canvas backpack and made to leave. His right hand shot out and grabbed my sleeve, stopping me. "Oh no, Aaron, you know perfectly well I won't let you leave so easily." He said my name in that same calm, measured tone. I was stunned. "Don't pretend you don't recognize me, old friend. It's me, Jack. Don't you remember, Aaron?" I frantically searched my memory, but there was no Jack. "I have no idea who you are, but I can guess what you are." The fury in his eyes flared and his smile widened. "And what would that be, old friend?" "A psychopath. Now let go of my shirt, you freak." Jack's smile vanished, but the disappearance of that manic grin only emphasized the infinite rage in his gaze. He released me, giving a slight shove, and turned to leave. But before he tucked his hands into his pockets, I noticed his right palm was bright red, inflamed, as if it had just been scalded by boiling water. I grabbed my backpack and fled. At home, I tried to focus on trigonometry but couldn't concentrate. Suddenly, the sharp, deafening ring of the doorbell echoed through the apartment. I wasn't expecting anyone at this hour, though maybe it was Sarah or Cody stopping by. But it was Jack. He stared into emptiness, then, noticing me in the semi-darkness, smirked. "Hello, Aaron. May I come in?" I slammed the door in his face, but something blocked it, his foot wedged in the doorway. "Aaron, don't be such a prude. Either you let me in, or in a couple of days you'll receive a little memento in the mail regarding your sweet grandmother." Terror gripped me. He was talking about my kind, loving grandmother. But apart from his threats, I knew nothing about this man. Could he really do it? I gave in. "Fine," I hissed, letting him in. "Thank you, Aaron, I won't be long. Would you mind a glass of milk?" He slowly walked around the apartment, examining the scattered belongings. I poured him a tall glass of milk. He accepted it gratefully, downed it in one revolting gulp, and looked at me with those furious eyes. Delicious. Milk is my favorite human food. Human? What do you mean, human? He leaned toward me as if to share a secret, though we were alone in the apartment. What if I told you I could grant your deepest desire, Aaron, just one? Want me to leave? Just say the word and I'll vanish. But then you'll miss out on something grand. Indignation washed over me. This pathetic jester thought he could threaten my grandmother and mess with my head without consequence. I reached for the phone to call the police. Go ahead, Aaron. You'll only bring your grandmother closer to her grave. My hand froze mid-air, a cold knot tightening in my stomach. All right. Want to play your cheap game, Jack? I'll play. I remembered our first meeting and my desire to change the world. I wish for peace on Earth. If you're telling the truth, absolute harmony will reign on Earth in a few minutes. If you're lying, nothing will happen. Jack's eyes widened, the fury in them blazing like fire. Very well. Your wish is granted by your own will. I tossed and turned in my big bed, wrapped in my polka-dotted blanket. Earlier, Jack had admitted it was all a lie and said he'd stalked me for a simple reason. He found me attractive. Out of pity, I decided not to report him to the police. Jack was so alien that I felt neither compassion nor hatred for him. I had a strange dream, a sadistic performance under a shabby circus tent. I saw horrible, distorted images of pure suffering, spectacles that barely brushed my consciousness but left a chilling mark. I thanked God when I woke up at 4:03 a.m. to my iPhone ringing on the nightstand. I answered with a tired, sleepy voice. Hello? Who is this? She's dead. I recognized the hoarse, raspy voice of my grandfather. She was attacked, Aaron. She's gone. I tried to say something, but only disjointed sobs escaped my throat. I'll be right there, Grandpa. I pulled on my sneakers, ran out of the house, and jumped into my white sedan. Patting the pockets of my oversized nightshirt, I realized with horror that my car keys were missing. I rushed back to the kitchen table, sliding across the lacquered floor, and desperately grabbed for the keychain. The car key slid away before I could take it. I reached for it. It slid in another direction. No words could describe my terror. The damned key lifted on its metal ring and jumped off the table, rolling across the floor toward the front door. I dashed to the car, flew down the wooden steps, and froze before a truly surreal sight. My car, the one I'd saved up for my entire life, was crumpling into a giant heap of metal that writhed and twisted into the shape of an infant. The key, like all other metal objects around, was magnetized and absorbed into this armored newborn, which crawled away into the depths of the courtyard, now littered with debris and stunned passers-by. I was beginning to wonder if I was in hell when the most shocking event of my insignificant life occurred, leaving me stunned and alone in a world now ruled by pure terror. Monsters. Real monsters marched down the street, moving so human-like I almost mistook them for more onlookers. A shaggy black mutt patched with human skin, A woman drawn in chalk, a two-dimensional abomination living in 3 dimensions. A strange beaked creature shrouded in disease. 2 lovers consumed by burning hatred, and my grandfather standing amid it all, smiling. This triggered a cascade of memories. I remembered being invited to his funeral. Hello, Aaron. Glad to see you again. It's been so long, but now we can be together forever. All you have to do is embrace me. I ran from what was once my grandfather and froze when I saw Jack. He was gazing into the distance, his eyes now burning with a bright red light. Hey there, old friend. I see you've met the newborn machine. A nice fellow. A bit stiff, though. I know this is all very sudden, but these ancient creatures and I are going on a one-time mission. We're just going to, how do you say it? Wipe out humanity? Yes, that's right, we're going to wipe out humanity. I know this isn't quite what you meant, but trust me, this is the only way to grant your wish. It's been fun. He pulled a golden revolver from his jacket pocket, gleaming under the streetlights, and pointed it at my temple with his burned red hand. And for the first time since we'd met, he looked me straight in the eye. Now, Aaron, there will finally be peace on Earth.